If you want the most up-to-date information on what it takes to get a visa on arrival in Thailand, this is the video for you. Shalom, it's No Limit Eddie, back with another video. Right now, I'm recording this video from the Sky Lounge in my apartment here in Bangkok, Thailand. Now, I just arrived here 2 days ago, and so I wanted to make this video right now while it's still fresh in my mind about what it takes to get a visa on arrival here in Thailand. And because I just went through this process 2 days ago, this information is super up-to-date, super accurate. And so as of July 2023, this is the most up-to-date video on YouTube about this process, all right? Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the actual requirements, and then I want to talk about my personal experience so that way you have like a reference point about what you should actually expect. Now, but before we do that, we need to talk about one super important distinction. Thailand calls their visa on arrival a visa exemption, okay? So if you hear people referencing something called a visa exemption, just understand that it's actually the visa on arrival. But a visa on arrival for us Westerners is called a visa exemption. Now, what are the requirements to be eligible for a visa exemption? First, you need to be from one of the 64 approved countries. If you're from places like me, America, you're from Canada, you're from New Zealand, you're from UK, places like that are on that list. I'm going to leave the full list in the description of today's video for you to check out. But if you're from one of those approved countries, then you qualify for a visa exemption. The next component or next qualification is that you need to have a passport. Of course, you cannot leave your country without a passport. Now, one stipulation is you need to have at least 6 months before that passport expires. So if your passport expires in July and you're trying to go in March, it's not going to work, right? Because you only have 3 months left. So you need to have at least 6 months before your passport expires. That's qualification number 2. And again, just a side note, if you do have a passport that's soon to expire, go ahead and renew it super early, okay? Because right now, the government in the United States is getting absolutely slammed with passport requests, and they're taking a super long time to get those passports out to people. So even for the renewals, you want to renew early. Now, qualification number 3. You need to have proof of address, all right? This is the third qualification to get a visa on arrival, aka a visa exemption. You need to have a hotel booking or Airbnb booking. You need to have like some type of, hey, this is where I'm going to be staying while I'm in Thailand. You need to have that. And it's best to have it printed out, okay? It's best to have it printed out, piece of paper, boom. All right. Now, the fourth requirement is this right here. You need to have proof of funds, okay? Now, this proof of funds needs to be in cash. It needs to be 10,000 Thai baht or the equivalent for a single person like me, or it needs to be 20,000 Thai baht or the equivalent for a family. And this needs to be, once again, in cash. So what does that mean? 10,000 Thai baht is around $300 US. So if I was to come over from the US, I would say, okay, let me have 3 $100 bills or, you know, a mixture of hundreds and 20s and 50s, whatever. But $300 essentially is what I would need to come with in cash to say, hey, I have proof of funds, so while I'm staying here, I will be able to fund my life, okay? If you're from the UK, then you'll have euros or pounds, whatever it is, the equivalent of 10,000 Thai baht. If you're a family, you need the equivalent of 20,000 Thai baht, which is around $600 US. Side note on this, they do not prefer it to be like a digital bank statement, they prefer it to be cash. All right, qualification number 5, all right? You need to be coming to Thailand for tourism purposes. Of course, the passport immigration officer has no idea why you're coming to Thailand. They don't, and you can just say you're coming for tourism purposes, but it can be a whole different purpose, right? They don't really know. That's super subjective. But just to be mindful, you need to say that you're coming for tourism purposes in order to get that visa on arrival, all right, or visa exemption. Now, because they don't really know what you're coming to do, there is a couple of signs they could look out for, and which could cause you to be denied. Number one, if you're coming in and out of Thailand super often, then they can begin to assume you're trying to live in Thailand and not as a tourist, right? If you have like 15 stamps from Thailand, you keep coming in and out, then they're going to assume, okay, this guy's trying to live here on a tourism visa. That's a problem for them. And the reason why that's a problem is if you're living here, they don't know how you're making money, so they could begin to assume that you're taking a job from locals, or they could begin to assume you don't have any money, and that you can become a burden to the country, right? And so this is usually in place to protect themselves and to protect you as a tourist. You should not be trying to live in countries on tourism visas. You need to be coming on a tourist purpose. This means you need to have a return ticket or an onward ticket, okay? You must have this. That's the fifth qualification, is a return ticket or an onward ticket, okay? This is letting them know that you're not planning on just staying here. If you plan on staying in the country, what are you gonna do? Buy a one-way ticket, right? But if you plan on, traveling, you'll probably get a return ticket, come from your home country, have your tourism for a time, and then return back, right? Or at the very least, have a ticket to come to the country, then have a onward ticket to go to another country. Now, with that, the flight ticket needs to be within 30 days, okay? Because right now, Thailand is giving 30-day visa on arrivals, and so your flight out needs to be within that 30-day period, okay? Because if your flight out is in, let's say, 60 days, well, then now you've technically overstayed your visa, and that's problematic for them. So it needs to be within 30 days. It has a tendency to change the visa policies around, so sometimes it might be 45-day visa on arrival. If that's the case, then you want to be able to get then you can get a ticket 45 days out, okay? If it's 30 days, it needs to be within 30 days. If it's 45 days, let it be within 45 days. So you can kind of play around with that. That'll be something you need to research if you're watching this video, let's say a year or two from now. What are they doing right now? A 30-day visa or 45-day visa? Those are all the requirements that you need to be eligible for the visa exemption, aka the visa on arrival for Thailand. Now, let's talk about my personal experience. But before I do, if you are someone who wants to move to Thailand, you are someone who wants to, live and travel abroad full time, here is a special message that I have for you. The biggest mistake that people make that prevents them from being able to move abroad is they try to save a bunch of money. Now, a bunch of money means different things to everyone. For some people, it's $5,000. For other people, it's $50,000. Some people won't even look at a plane ticket until they have 6 figures in the bank. Now, while the number differs, the mindset is always the same. I need to save this money because when I move out of America, I won't be able to show up for work. If I'm not able to show up for work, I'm not going to be earning money. If I'm not earning money, then I'm going to have to rely on my savings. But the truth of the matter is, from someone who's been living outside of America for the last 2.5 years, you don't actually need to save a bunch of money. You just need to figure out how to continue to earn a consistent income no matter where you are in the world. Of course, don't get me wrong, you still should have some money saved, tucked away in a bank account that you never touch, because all of your travel and living expenses should be paid by money you're actively making. That is my secret, right? That's what I figured out how to do. I turn my phone into my office. So no matter where I am in the world, whether it's Egypt or Tanzania or Ghana or where I am now in Thailand, I am making money. Of course, it's natural for you to say, that sounds great for you, but I have no idea how to make money online. If that is you, then click the very first link in this video's description. I put together a free training video. It's 10 minutes and 44 seconds long. In that video, I cover how you can replace your job with an online business. Full transparency. There is nothing to buy at the end of this video. If you watch the video and you feel like, hey, this business model that he's talking about, this opportunity that he's talking about sounds perfect for me, then of course, you will have the ability to apply to jump on a free Zoom call with me to discuss if you and I working together will help you to reach your goals. Now, click the very first link in the description to access this free training and to access the ability to apply to speak with me. This is an opportunity you don't want to miss. Click the first link in the video's description. Other than that, let's get back into the video. Now, I want to share my personal experience with you. So I came in from Egypt. That's where I spent the last couple months. And so I had everything prepared except for the physical cash, right? I didn't have $300 physical cash or the 10,000 Thai baht. And so that was one thing that I didn't have. My plan was to try to come into the country and go to an ATM, pull the Thai baht out while I was in the airport before I got to immigration. And the reason why I wanted to do it that way was because Egypt has a very difficult time getting US dollars. They're having like a whole crisis about that right now. And so to get physical US dollars in Egypt is not the easiest thing to do. And so my plan was just to come to the airport and pull a Thai baht out. But they don't actually have any ATMs before you reach immigration. And so I was quite nervous because I heard that there was a 2,000 Thai baht fee in order to get this whole visa exemption, like a processing fee that they may charge you or they may not charge you. And so I wanted to have that 2,000 Thai baht so I can be prepared in case they did charge me. But my personal experience when I came in, they didn't ask me for anything outside of my passport and my boarding pass, which was really interesting because that was never anywhere online. But they asked me for my passport. They scanned it in. They also did a fingerprint scan, so I scanned my left hand and my right hand fingerprints. And then after that, they asked me for my boarding pass, the pass that I took from a country called Bahrain to Bangkok. So they asked me for that ticket for that flight. And those are the only two things they asked me for. So on my passport and my boarding pass, and then they had me to scan my fingers in as well, which is pretty common when you're dealing with visa and things like that. They either have you scan your fingers in, or they have you take a photo of your face. So one of those two things. Yeah, so that was pretty much my process. You know, they didn't ask for anything. I didn't get charged anything at all. Very smooth, very easy, very calm. I didn't feel stressed. I didn't feel nervous. I didn't get questioned at all. So I enjoyed the process, right? The last thing that I have for you, the advice that I have for you though, is do not try to come without preparation. Just because my experience and a lot of other people's experience is similar to mine, that doesn't mean you should come ill prepared, because you might just run into a jerk. You might run into somebody who's like really not friendly, really in a bad mood, and they may ask for all those documents. They may quiz you, they may question you, and it's just good to be prepared and be ready for that to happen, just in case it does, right? But more than likely, you should have a very smooth experience, the same way I had. Hopefully, you have the same experience, and it's just easy going. Other than that, you know, if you are serious about making a relocation journey to, let's say, Southeast Asia, to Thailand, you know, or where I live in Africa, definitely click the first link in the description. Watch the free training video that I have to teach you the 3 steps you need to go through to replace your 9-to-5 job with an online course business. If you happen to like what I talk about in the video, then of course you will be able to schedule in a call to speak with me directly about how you and I work together will be beneficial to you reaching your goals, right? Or really to discover if it is beneficial to you reaching your goals. And so click the link in the first link in the description and register to watch that free training video. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all willing? Shalom.